Current Baki is stronger than Yuichiro in a 1v1 sense, as Baki has a wealth of good opponents to develop his strength and doesn't feel the need to hold back, while Yuichiro always fought people weaker than him or held back his strength. So the idea of Baki being stronger than Yuichiro, I can get behind. The reasoning isn't really there, if I'm being honest. Yuichiro could just be built different, and it kinda seems that way based on his introduction. Regardless of him not fighting people on his level for I guess his whole life, wouldn't really mean he isn't an absolute powerhouse. With his introduction alone, he was able to pretty much fear hacks Pickle, leave Baki stunned and pissed off Yuichiro. One of the most impressive feats in I guess the whole Baki series, just in his ghost form alone. Whether Baki is stronger than Yuichiro can't really be 100% determined, as we don't really know Yuichiro's full capabilities. Of course, we know he potentially got his jaw broken by a young Doppo. This isn't Prime Doppo as I talk about in this video here. With current Baki being miles and miles stronger than that version of Doppo, so if he's able to damage Yuichiro, Baki should be more than capable of it. Based on feats, of course, we should give it to Baki, even though Yuichiro has defeated the USA and Baki hasn't really done something like that in a war like Yuichiro and Yudra have. But if I had to bet, I would say Baki is stronger than Yuichiro based on what we've seen and pretty much overall series scaling. But the implications and overall hype we got for Yuichiro, I wouldn't completely confirm it, and for all we know, Yuichiro could be the strongest of all time, stronger than Yudra. I personally just don't think so. Yudro already knows about Jack's style and secretly kept tabs on him when Jack disappeared, just to one-up Jack if he attempts to challenge him. That would be pretty funny, and I guess Yudro really just be knowing everything. Imagine if Jack actually begins to fight Yudro, and Yudro pulls out the Way of the Biting style. That wouldn't really be in Yudro's character and it would be super goofy, but if that happens, Yudro is I guess the ultimate build different character, but we'll have to wait and see. He definitely knows about Jack's style now. I'm probably seeing it once, he will fully understand it. I think Jack may defeat Yudro instead of Baki, and it will be some sort of ending that way. So I want to agree with this. I want to think Jack will defeat Yudro and that would be the end of the series. I wouldn't complain about that whatsoever, that would be absolute hype. But the likelihood of that actually occurring isn't really high. I think at most Yudro fights Jack and gives him some praise and the respect he deserves. I don't think Jack would win that fight, or Itagaki would actually write the story in Jack winning. If anything, I think it would be a draw, or at the very least Yudro praising Jack at his current power. I guess today is all about our boy Jack. I think Yudro kills Jack. That is also the possibility. Baki gets stronger, Baki beats Yudro. That would be, I guess, a good ending to the series if Baki was to actually kill Yudro, not just beat him. That would be some insanity. Yudro and Jack have a crazy close fight. Jack ends up dying, Baki gets some insane rage, fights Yudro and ends up killing him, and that is I guess the end of the story and the end of Yudro. Doppo should have gotten Retsu's hair. Thumbs up. That would have been pretty interesting. Imagine all the characters just getting various pieces of Retsu's body to carry around after he dies. That would be some pretty wild stuff. Maybe he could have taken one of Retsu's eyes as well. Jack Hanma inspired the Liver King to start taking steroids. I guess that means I have to give some respect to the Liver King. Sumo arc was good. Good, I don't know if I agree. Good parts at times, but as a whole there were a few disappointing aspects. The whole Jack stuff, if you consider that part of the Sumo arc, that was pretty much peak Baki. Yudro's fight with Sukune was I guess pretty cool. A lot of these sumo tournament fights I didn't really care about too much. It wasn't bad definitely, but was it good? I guess it was. At the moment, Jack's stronger than Pickle. I pretty much agree. Based on Pickle's showing so far in the series, ever since the Musashi arc, the last time he appeared, current Jack should be stronger than that Pickle, considering Jack's meant to be able to fight Baki now. So yeah, Pickle should be kinda weaker unless he has some insane improvement we don't currently know about. But based on what we've seen and what's currently going on in the story, Jack should be above Pickle. Katsumi and Kaku deserve more screen time. I heavily agree about Katsumi. He is kinda weird how he's being written throughout the series. He has moments where he pretty much becomes the main character, we have pretty much Retsu losing his leg and then building up Katsumi for his fight with Pickle. We have his whole flashback, learn the truth about him and everything like that. And then he has this crazy fight getting all the support with Pickle. Then of course he lost his arm, disappears forever. And then Retsu ended up dying in the Musashi arc. We see Katsumi actually getting Retsu's arm and then kinda getting that protagonist-like treatment again. And then instead of sticking with Katsumi, we go to some other things and then we don't see him for a while again. Katsumi currently has Retsu's arm, he's uniting karate and Chinese Kempo. More shine definitely needs to be given to him, and I guess maybe if he fights Jack in the future, we could get that shine pretty much coming out. But I think Katsumi does deserve more. I think another hot take in the previous video was about how if Doppo died rather than Retsu, we could have actually had more focus on Katsumi for the future of the story. And I still would like to actually see that. Kaku, I guess, could get more screen time. I wouldn't really complain too much, but I don't really know what they're going to do with Kaku, apart from like the training perspective. Maybe him having a fight with another character could be pretty cool, but I don't think we're really going to get that. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed for more Baki or fighting manga content. And if you want to take part in future hot takes videos, make sure to join the Discord. I open a chat for people to leave their hot takes and then I'll make videos like this. But back to the video. Baki needs a good tournament type arc because the Ratai tournament was kinda mid, and I guess the Sumo tournament was kinda mid as well. Imagine like a new maximum tournament with all the current like strong characters, including Yujiro being part of that. Potentially even the Death Row inmates returning. That would be like the final arc of the tournament. Potentially in like the semi-finals we have Jack vs Yujiro. They have a crazy close fight. And then the final is Baki vs Yujiro, and Baki does get that definitive win. Or even actually kills them like I talked about in the other post before. So pretty cool stuff. I would love to see another tournament arc that's like the maximum tournament. All these crazy characters going at it, super long. Not really jobber-like characters either, just the top tiers and characters we've seen before. Maybe even Ali Jr. returning, stuff like that. Great idea. Yuichiro is the most overrated character. In a sense, as many of the fans praise him as like the absolute strongest, he can just destroy everyone based on that one introduction and how much hype he really got during that. But once again, it's really kind of hard to say as we know so little about him, and considering the little amount we know about him, you could say he's the most overrated with how much he's actually praised. OEA scales above Wildfang and both use Yujiro as a self-insert character. Agreed. If you know what this guy's talking about, I guess respect to you. This is a very interesting take. Never really thought of this as a possibility if I'm being honest, so no real comment. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, check out all the other stuff in the description. It's greatly appreciated. And shout out to the Mad Lads who support the channel via the Patreon.